Lou is an elderly woman living all by herself in her cabin near a forest on Orcas Island. A complete loner by choice, her only companion is a loyal dog named Jax, and it is with him by her side that Lou often goes out on hunts, even when it is not hunting season. She also has a neighbor, a young woman named Hannah, who stays as a tenant on Lou's property, along with her daughter V. Having been in an abusive marriage, Hannah now stays alone with V after parting ways with her husband Philip, and seems interested in getting to know Lou better. However, it is Lou who chooses to keep her distance. Talking to Hannah only to remind her about the due rent, she visits the local bank and withdraws all the money from her account and takes it home. She is also seen digging up some papers and photographs. She burns all the papers and photographs and locks Jax in a room so that he does not get in the way of what she is about to do next. Leaving a letter addressed to Hannah on her table, Lou calmly sits down with her rifle and prepares to shoot herself dead. On the other side, Hannah and V share a loving bond, but the young girl still waits for her father to return from a grand adventure that she believes him to be out on, for her mother has told her so. To everyone else in the neighborhood, Hannah had said that her husband Philip had died 2 or 3 years ago, as she herself knew so. Evening falls and the storm lashes onto the island, and the mother and daughter are about to go to bed when their house loses electricity. Hannah goes out to check on the situation and stumbles upon a van with a dead man inside. This man happens to be Chris, Hannah's new lover, and she immediately realizes what is going on. She rushes to her house to find it empty, and then to Lou's, just as the latter prepares to kill herself. Intervening in the whole act and not even realizing it, Hannah pleads with Lou to help her save her daughter from her vengeful husband, who has returned, and Lou agrees. Despite Lou initially wanting to go out alone, so helped by the trained and intelligent Jax, Lou finds tracks on the ground, and the two women follow them into the woods and beyond. The next morning, they reach a small hut where Hannah identifies 2 men who used to work for her husband, but there is no sign of V. Lou decides to check out the place, and she makes use of her superb acting skills to pose as an old, helpless woman lost in the incessant rain, and then ultimately takes the 2 men down. She interrogates one of them to find out where Philip is headed, and then leads Hannah there. Earlier, Hannah had spoken of her husband, how he used to have fits of uncontrolled rage and anger in which he would terribly hurt his wife. Hannah would always have to cleverly send V away from the situation and save her from his anger. Philip had been part of the United States Army Special Forces and had been accused of torture and other war crimes during his service in Central America. However, a couple years ago, while he was still wanted by the authorities, his apartment blew up, and everyone believed him to have died in this explosion. Now that V was missing, and a postcard with a message and a picture of V with Philip had been left behind, Hannah was sure that her husband had faked his death and had now returned. Hearing all of this, Lou seems to gather more information than she is given, as if she knows something more about this entire fiasco, which is gradually revealed by the film. While the 2 women try to find the missing girl, Philip makes his way through the forest with V, and at first he uses a small cart to safely carry his daughter. His exact intentions are made clear that very night. When Lou sneaks into the cave, Lou and Philip clash against each other, revealing their backstory. Before moving to Orcas Island and during her prime years, Lou had been a CIA agent, and a rather good one too. As part of her job, she had to go undercover to get very close to a high-profile target in Iran during the years of the Islamic Revolution. Unlike perhaps the safest thing to do, though, she had decided to take her baby boy along with her to make her cover stronger and more convincing. Lou later also admits that she really was not the best mother, and that neither did she want to be so, and had always prioritized her work over motherhood. During her years undercover living in Iran, there happened to be some fallout between her and the men she was investigating, and as a response, her son was taken away from her when he was a young boy. Although Lou made sure that the boy was rescued from the terrorist camp, she herself never reached out to him or tried to contact him. This young boy, who happened to be Philip, grew up desperately waiting for his mother to return to him, and then, as an adult, joined the U.S. Army Special Forces. Meanwhile, Lou kept track of everything, and she knew how her son had grown up to be a toxic man, often physically hurting his wife, and she found it easier to help Hannah out of the situation. The three characters meet at a lighthouse along with V, and Philip tries to blow up the entire place but learns that Lou has already defused the bomb. As Hannah, Lou, and V try to escape back into the forest with Philip still chasing them, a CIA helicopter hovers over the place, menacingly looking for its two targets. Philip now catches up to the two women, and Lou decides to stay back and fight her son while Hannah and V make their safe exit from the place. As the mother and son have a grand fight, the CIA helicopter takes notice of them and gets closer. Philip breaks down and tearfully hugs his mother as Lou apologizes to him, and then he is shot in the back by the CIA agents. It seems that Lou is shot down too, as the two fall into the sea and get washed up by the water. Sometime later, Hannah inherited Lou's house and her money, and two government officials still ask her around if she knows what had happened to Lou or about her past. Hannah denies knowing anything, and she is then seen taking a ferry towards a new life in Seattle. She is, of course, accompanied by her daughter V and Lou's dog, Jax, who is now part of their family. It is Jax who first seems to look at someone on the ferry with a lot of intrigue, and then, in the final shots, an elderly woman is seen looking at Hannah and V through her binoculars.